Okay, I think it's recording. Yes. Welcome, you guys. It is October 28th. Thank you so much for being part of the call. I know that some of you are holding your kids and some of you are running around like crazy animals and some of you are just barely getting by trying to make it work. So we appreciate you being on the call. However you can make the call, like just do the best that you can and try to make the call. Like if you're doing your laundry, if you're on mute talking to your husband and you're listening to the background, that's all cool. Like I'm cool with that. You don't have to sit down and be like vigorously, I want you to pay attention obviously, but the bottom line is we're all busy people. So most of us are moms, and if you're not a mom, you have some dogs that are bothering you on your lap or something. And so just know that we understand. So a few announcements, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce Breezie. So starting Monday, if you listen to my video, we have that 10-day brand new Like a Boss training that we are starting. I'm really excited about it. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a video this weekend. And we're just going to do it a day at a time. It's going to go Monday through Friday, Saturday for catch up, Sunday day off, and then you're going to have another week. So it's going to be 10 days. So make sure you're talking to your downline, you're talking to your coaches, you yourself, if you feel like you haven't got a good solid foundation for a training system, or you want an idea, or you want something, that just kind of goes through the basics so you can kind of see what we're doing and send it to for your coaches, it's going to be a great opportunity. And it's going to be awesome because, I'm sorry, I have to plug in my computer. It just said it's going to run out of batteries. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's going to be a great opportunity because we're going to have this system that happens the first Monday of every single month. And then the third Monday of every single month, we're going to start that social media boot camp. And so we're really excited about that too. So this is all new. We're going to work out the quirks, but we're just going to have a place. And you guys, I just want you to be passionate and excited about having a place to invite people, because that's really where the bottom line is I think we have awesome trainings, but I wanted a sense of community of new coaches going through it together. And I think that's what you're going to get. So let's be excited about that. The last thing I want you to do is if a coach says, what's that new, Like a Boss training? And you say, what training are you talking about? You make sure you know that we are starting a training on next Monday, and it's for all coaches. It's technically going to be from here on out new coaches that join our team each month, so they have a place to get acquainted with and have the 10-day training. But let's make sure we all try to go through it and just kind of have that system in place. Okay, the other thing is the November Team Cup. I guess is it called the Team Cup? I don't even know. I should know that. I registered today and I forgot what it was called. Anyone writing me? It's called the Team Cup, I think. We've done this before. They do it 3 times a year. It's in teams of 3. Just make sure you get registered. It's Fall Classic. Thank you, Breezie. Oh my gosh. See, I knew brain fart, let me tell you. So it's a Fall Classic and it's in teams of 3. No one can be, only 1 lifetime diamond or higher. And you want to make sure you set yourself up in a message system. You set your goals up. You are just going to push and show yourself what can happen if you really work hard for 30 days. I think we convince ourselves and we trick ourselves into believing that things aren't going to change and that it's been this way for a long time and why should I even try? Sometimes, especially during 4th quarter, when times are tough. It's not like it's January 1st and everyone's knocking at your door saying, okay, I want a New Year's resolution. Right now we're planting those seeds and we're really building the relationships. And sometimes it's hard to continue to do that when you aren't seeing it return. But I promise you, if you know in your heart that you have integrity and you're doing the right thing, which is loving this business and inviting with love and sharing your story passionately and truly wanting to help people, it's going to all fall into place. But you got to make sure you get on a team so you can connect with your peers and your coaches and you guys can push each other, because I guarantee you friendships are going to be built and you're going to have some awesome fun. So make sure you get registered. You have until the end of this month and then it closes. No showing up on November 1st saying, Kiana, I forgot what's going to happen. You're just not going to be able to be part of a group, okay? The other thing is a couple of things. Most of you won Success Club from last month. Post about that. Like if you won that big package of P90X, it's pretty awesome. Like that's the biggest prize we've ever gotten. Like talk about our company. That's pretty amazing. They sent us $200 and something worth of money each person. that made Success Club. Okay. That is all the announcements I have, except that I know that in our team page, we have an awesome vibe, and you guys, I so appreciate each one of you knowing that you're just doing the 3 vital behaviors. And if you're not, be part of our group called the 3 Vitals, because it's a place where you can be accountable to yourself. And for once, you're just accountable to you. I'm not checking on you. Your coach is not checking on you. We're not saying, oh my gosh, did she do this? This is all about you and your business. So it's really cool because that group, we are sharing our workouts the exact day that we're on. We're talking about what type of Shakeology we're having, but we're also sharing our invites. And I think that in this business where people get stuck are invites. And if you don't know how to invite, then you're not probably sharing anything, or you're kind of getting nervous. And it really just takes practice and just kind of going through those motions and going, oh, that was awesome, Sarah, or that was awesome, Tracy, that was a great idea. Okay, so that is all the announcements I have, except that tonight, you guys, we have the one and only Breezie Bitter. Okay, Breezie is a friend of mine. She is a 5-star elite 2014 coach. She has 8 lifetime diamonds. She's ranked number 174th in the company out of 400,000 coaches. And she's only been coaching for a little over 2 years. She's super passionate about sharing her story and helping other people understand and identifying their story so that they can build their business. I know that she's inspired me day after day after day because she's had a lot of struggles this last year, yet she continues to build her business. And she is so sweet. I love your smile, and I'm so happy to have you on the call. So Breezie, are you there? Let's
Yes, thank you so much. So I just have to tell you guys are so blessed to have a leader like Kiana. Her energy is amazing. I've been on a few different calls, a few different team calls, and you guys are pretty lucky to have the leader that you have. So you're amazing.
Oh. Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I have good friends like Breezie that are nice to me. Okay, I'm muting myself.
It takes all of us, that's for sure. All right. Okay, so I'm actually going to screen share with you guys. I have some slides I like to share. If you can't see them, don't worry. It's not a big deal. But for those of you that can see, you can take a peek at my slides. All right. Okay, so just to kind of introduce myself, get you guys acquainted with me. Some of you are probably like, who the heck is this lady? So my Beachbody journey actually started in 2012. My first little boy, who's about 9 months old, I still hadn't dropped the baby weight. I was struggling with my Crohn's disease. It's an autoimmune disease that I have. And motherhood, I was drowning in it. I needed a change. So I signed up as a coach for a challenge group, as a discount coach actually, and I gave TurboFire a try. I loved it. I lost the baby weight. I loved how Shakeology made me feel. It was helping with my Crohn's disease, and I just felt better than I had in a long time. And I was actually added to my coach's page as a discount coach. And I watched her build her business from the ground up. And finally, in 2013, about 9 months after I signed up as a discount coach, I said, why not me? I recommitted to the business. I was 5 months pregnant with my second little boy. And I said, why not me? I'm going to try this. I'm going to go for it and start coaching. I was actually a teacher at the time. It was summertime. I was dreading going back to school as a full-time teacher. And I was an elementary teacher. So I jumped in and I started building the business. And now just over 2 years later, I'm still here. I love it. It's been amazing. Definitely a roller coaster, but so worth it. I'm looking forward to a long future as a coach. This opportunity really, you guys, it's blessed me and my family greatly. My husband, he actually is officially home with us full time, which is so cool. That was a big goal that we've been working towards. And it's really Beachbody, more than the money, more than the physical transformation. It's helped me as an individual discover my passions, my purpose, and my story. And it's helped me figure out how to discover that, how to share it with others and inspire others, which is what I'm going to talk to you guys about tonight, because that's truly, through this whole process, has become a passion of mine. I've kind of realized everyone has a story. It's unique. We're all so, so different, and we can connect to people on so many different levels in so many different ways. And as coaches, we really have a unique opportunity to share our stories and touch people's lives while bringing them into this amazing company that we all know and love as Beachbody. So, all right. Tonight, I kind of want to take you guys through my process, I guess, about how I was able to discover my story and then start sharing it. And hopefully through that, you guys will be able to take little bits and pieces of what I say, and you can connect them and apply it to your business. And coming into the Fall Classic month, you guys are probably going to want to start, get on your team. You're going to want to start crafting ideas of how you're going to approach people, what kind of posts you're going to put out there. And I'm going to tell you, the more raw and honest you can be in your posts, the more people you're going to attract to you, and the more like-minded people you're going to attract to you. And I'm going to kind of share how to do that. So, all right, starting off with my journey. As a new coach, I felt like I started strong sharing my story. I had my transformation. I was excited. I was excited to build this amazing business. I was dialed in. I was watching other coaches posting. I thought I was golden. I knew what to post, when to post, how to post. I thought I was dialed in, but as I came to find, I had quickly fallen into the trap of being a cookie cutter Beachbody coach. I was stalking these other coaches, seeing what they were posting. Then I was quickly crafting my posts around what they were posting. And essentially, I had lost my voice and I wasn't being true to myself, which is so easy to do. I think it's great to use what, and see what other coaches are doing for inspiration. But if you're falling into the comparison trap and falling into the cookie cutter coach trap, then I recommend unfollowing, coaches and really digging deep and finding the true you and what message you want to portray in social media. So it wasn't until I heard Jeff Hill from Beachbody Corporate talk about the hedgehog principle at my first team retreat that I realized that I needed to find my story and roll with it. So let me kind of explain this a little bit more. Now, I just want to preface this. Don't get too caught up in this. If this is like too much for your brain to process right now, just focus on the basic principle that I'm trying to teach with this concept. So the hedgehog concept. The hedgehog concept is actually from a book by Jim Collins called Good to Great. The concept is this: the fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. Let me explain. Collins calls this hedgehog concept doing one thing and doing it well. And in this book that he wrote, Good to Great, he actually uses the parable of a devious fox and the simple hedgehog. The fox keeps coming up with all these new ideas to eat the hedgehog, but the hedgehog, he defeats him because he just does his one trick, which is rolling into a ball. So that's kind of the concept I guess I want to portray to you guys, is you want to be the hedgehog. Finding your hedgehog requires the intersection of these three answers. What are you passionate about? What can you be the best at? And what can you actually make a living at? And the answer that comes in the middle must meet all three criteria. And for me, this was something that really helped me kind of brainstorm where I wanted to go as a coach, what message I was trying to portray on social media to my followers, what kind of story I was trying to share with them. So Jim Collins shares that those who build good to great companies are to one degree or another hedgehogs. They use their hedgehog nature to drive forward what we call the hedgehog concept for their companies. And those who actually lead the comparison companies in the studies they've done, they tend to be foxes. They don't gain this advantage, the clarifying advantage of a hedgehog concept, but instead they're scattered, they're diffused, they're inconsistent. And so you guys are probably like, hey, Breezie, what does all this talk about hedgehogs and foxes have to do with my business? Well, you guys, it has everything to do with it. So when Jeff Hill actually talked about this whole concept to us, he said, as a coach, you need to hone in on what your goals are, why you're doing this, what this is about for you, and then apply that and find your hedgehog. So I was totally a fox, you guys. Like I said, I was all over the place with my posts. No real depth or reason why. I was just kind of going through the motions and just posting. So I had this wake-up call for myself to actually become the hedgehog. And Jeff shared that honing in on our hedgehog, it's not only going to help you find purpose and ignite your passion, but it's going to help you roll your business forward. And developing that hedgehog and surrounding it, the principles surrounding it as you develop it, it's actually going to have you see that you do have a story to tell. And so many of us fall into the trap that thinking that we don't have a story. You know, I'm just a mom, or I'm just a single girl, like, or I'm just a teacher. Like, we think we don't have a story, but this can help us see that we really do have a story to tell, and probably a pretty darn good one. And so this, like I said, this hedgehog principle, your sweet spot is that overlapping one in the middle. This whole chart just kind of shows different elements to ultimately help you see where you have the most success with the business as a coach. And Jeff actually challenged us to message him our concept, our hedgehog concept, when we did this exercise. And I was so nervous because I'll be honest, like, it was totally hard to wrap my brain around this. And so at first I was super nervous about it. So don't let it detract you. The purpose of this is just to see that you don't want to be a fox. You don't want to be constantly pulling pieces from other people's lives, trying to be them, trying to duplicate them. You want to be you. You want to be your own kind of hedgehog and be proud of it. And just a couple tips on doing this exercise. And I'll warn you, it took me a while to hone in on it, and that's okay. But let me do the next slide with you, and this will kind of give you some tips on finding your hedgehog. All right, so before you start, try these things. The first one, write down your trials, your turning points, your struggles in life. What has shaped you into who you are today? Now, Kiana kind of mentioned that I had a rough year. I have, I've had a medical roller coaster with my health, and I've shared that on social media. And it's been hard to write some of those posts or to put myself out there. But through my struggles and my trials, I have attracted some amazing people into my life. And it's just amazing what happens, the support and the love and the outpouring the universe gives you. I don't know if you believe in God, but I believe in God. And I really believe that if you put yourself out there, that he's going to bless you. The universe is going to bless you, and it's going to come back to you, those people that you're looking for as you share your trials and struggles. You're going to influence people and inspire people, and they're going to be attracted to you. The next one, write down what are some turning points. I guess I shared that. Okay, so turning points. Yes, we did that. Okay, so number 3, what do you talk about the most on social media now, and why? So maybe you're kind of drawn to posting about one thing more than another thing. Maybe you love sharing recipes. Maybe you love sharing the fitness aspect of the business. Maybe you are like a total personal development guru, and that's just something you totally mesh with. Maybe it's the relationships. I mean, it could be a million things that you post about, but maybe that's a clue to what your niche is. So maybe that's will get you a little bit closer to finding out what you're going to do really well with and roll with in your coaching business. What's your why behind being a coach? I'm sure you guys have talked a lot about your why, your dream boards. Like, what are you guys shooting for? What does this business and what does coaching mean to you? And how does that apply to what you're sharing? Are you sharing that on social media? That's going to help you figure out a part of your story, a piece of your story that you want to share. And then your elevator speech. This is one that kind of throws people. They're like, my elevator speech, what? So your elevator speech, it's just your short blip of what your Beachbody journey has been so far. So kind of my little intro I did for you guys, that's your elevator speech. In that elevator speech, is there something specific that you've overcome through Beachbody that you share with people on a regular basis? Maybe that's a clue to what you should be talking about more and sharing more. All right, and you guys, there's no one right story. There's just your story, and that's okay. Like like I said, you think you don't have a story, but your story is yours and you need to share that. And honestly, before I did this exercise, you guys, like I said, I was all over the place with my posts, but now I actually kind of have a focus. I'm able to weave my story in and out of my posts. I talk about how it affects my day-to-day life. I breadcrumb my story to people through my posts, giving them little details at a time. So if you can literally sit down and answer some of these questions, and this is kind of, I can't remember if I put this in my notes or not, but I'm just thinking of it now. I actually have, like, on my notes on my phone, I have a place where I type inspiration. So like if I have like a story or an event in my life that happens and that has shaped me, if I remember that at certain times, like inspiration strikes me at the weirdest times, like the middle of the night. So I'll just write it down. And then I have those stories of my life to draw from, like these questions, these stories, and I can weave that in and out of my posts and breadcrumb it to people. Because obviously you don't want to give them everything all at once. You kind of want to breadcrumb it. So, and you guys, I'm not going to lie, I was really, really nervous to start talking about my health struggles, to make a video about it, to really put my story out there and not just kind of brush the surface like it's so easy to do. I was sure that if I was specific with what I was struggling with, it was going to narrow my market, limit the people who contacted me, and I thought that it was going to be bad for my business, but I was so, so wrong. So I did this whole hedgehog thing. I messaged it to Jeff. I didn't act upon it. It wasn't actually till a couple months later, I was at a Super Saturday with Scotty Hobbs, and he shared this same concept of sharing our story. And it clicked in my brain that I actually needed to take action on it. Hello. And so I went home. I made a video about my journey with Crohn's disease and Shakeology. And I've never looked back since. I've started talking about Crohn's disease, my health struggles, how I cope. And I've literally attracted those people to my team, even more people than I would have before, because I've been being genuine about it. People like me with Crohn's, chronic illness, family members with it, people fighting for their health, and it's been crazy. And just for fun, I thought I'd look, and in the last few months, I've signed up 14 coaches, and 8 of them have Crohn's disease or some sort of autoimmune disorder. So that just goes to show you that when you put yourself out there, you're going to attract those people that need you, that need your help in your life. And it's just proof, they're attracted to you for a reason because of that story. Just be you, share your story. It's worth it. And it's so, so empowering when those people contact you and say, your story, I can relate to it so much. It helps me know that as a coach, I'm serving my purpose, and being who I am is actually helping people, and it's giving them hope for a better life. And I don't know about you, but that's what I signed up for as a coach. Like, I signed up to help people, and sharing my purpose is really helping people. And just so you guys know, like, you don't have to have like a disease. You don't have to have an illness. You don't have to have like some traumatic thing that's happened to you to have a story. No, your story can be as simple as being a mom, as being a career-driven woman. Like, you guys can turn your hedgehog, whatever you're good at sharing, you can turn that into whatever the heck you want. And, once you find your hedgehog, like, I want to clarify this and go over this. It doesn't mean that's all you ever talk about. Like, I don't just talk about Crohn's disease 24/7, but that just shows the power of your story. And now that you have kind of a focus point to help you weave in and out of. And as you share your life on social media, you're going to be able to kind of see how you can weave it in and out of your posts and not be that cookie cutter coach. So, like, if fitness is your thing, being an athlete, then own it and share it. If you're a rockin' cook and you have killer recipes, like, own that, share it. Like I said, personal development guru, own it, share it. If you've had some huge health obstacle, financial obstacle, if you've just whatever in your life, own that, share it. If you're business minded, you love to be an entrepreneur, own that, share it. There's no one right story, you guys, just yours. And the purpose of this whole hedgehog, I just want to reiterate this, it is to emphasize that you don't need to jump around like the fox trying to be perfect, find this perfect way to come across to people. You just have to put your blinders on, focus on your strengths and your story and your purpose, and that's what you need to share. And so you guys are probably like, again, like, hey, like maybe still at this point, you're like, Breezie, I have no clue what my story is. I'm no one special. Well, I have a little piece of advice for those of you that are still saying that to yourself. I want you to up your personal development and get the confidence to dig really deep and discover your story, because I will tell you, that is where personal development is where I found myself so much as a coach, and where I've been able to pick out pieces more of my story and share that with people. A book I'm reading right now that's amazing. It's called Rising Strong by Brene Brown. Totally about owning your story, like totally all about owning your story and overcoming that and sharing it. So I love the National Wake Up Call. It was by Summer Tucker. It was a few, a couple months ago, and she nailed it. And this is what she said. She said, there is only one of you. You have to have the courage to share who you are. Take time to share your story with people like you peel back pieces of an onion. And as you do, you'll give people hope. You'll gain trust, loyalty, and a piece of their heart. If you believe in people, add value to people, and be genuine, you will be successful. And I think that's a huge piece, is being genuine. And as you share your story, people are going to really feel that from you. And that's what being coach is about, discovering ourselves, overcoming trials, sharing that with people in hopes that they're going to be inspired to change their life. All right, so this slide is something I like to share with people because it's easy as a coach to be all over the place, but it's easy to get distracted. So this is just another way to help you focus, really, another tool to help us focus. So one of my first calls as a coach, it was by Lindsay Stay, and she talked about choosing your 5 and sticking to it. So I did that as a coach. And until I found my story, I struggled with being genuine in those 5 areas and really putting across posts that represented who I was. So I want you guys to kind of share with you how you can develop your post into topics around your story. So this is also kind of a great breadcrumbing tool for your story, having different ways to share your story, rotating it through. It kind of allows you to create posts that have different stories, lessons, and add value to people, and kind of help people be in your shoes and relate to you. And that's what we really want. So kind of this breadcrumbing, let's see. Just like, okay, so choose your 5 and roll with it. So faith, this is kind of how I use faith in mine. So my 5 are faith, family, fitness, food, and being an entrepreneur. So how does my faith apply to my coping and healing with Crohn's? How am I able to live happier with my family, be active with my kids because I choose to actively fight my disease? Fitness, what has fitness done for my health? Food, what foods am I using at different points in my illness and why? Entrepreneur, how I am able to coach others struggling with their health and help them overcome through coaching. So those are mine, but as you guys can see, like, you can craft whatever you're good at around your 5 topics that you are consistently posting on social media. And like I said, this is another good tool to breadcrumb. I used to think I had to be like this awesome like food blogger and make like the perfect recipe post and then a killer fitness video and then like come up with this deep motivational post all in one day. But you guys, you don't. Just be you. Like, a little at a time is okay. Still post obviously about coach things like your workouts, your fitness, your shakes, the products, the lifestyle Beachbody is creating for you guys. But talk about how it's helping you personally and how it's a part of your story. And that really was the missing element. I was posting about these 5 things, but they weren't really relating directly to what I was going through in my life. And just a little tip, I don't know if you guys have talked about this at all, but if people go to your Facebook, they should be able to look at like your last 5 posts and tell by those posts exactly what you're all about. Like, they should be able to see your story and be able to tell. So just always constantly be sharing your story and who you are, because if someone's checking you out, you want them to be able to go to your profile and see that. All right. So often this happens all the time, like on my team anyway, we get caught up with, how do I get more people to like me? How can I get more followers? What can I say? What can I post? And I want you guys to get rid of that, get rid of those thoughts, because that's not what we're after. Instead, I want you guys to think, am I living my truth and sharing that? Because the more genuine and real that you guys are, then the more people are going to be attracted to you. So am I living my truth and sharing that? And that is really what the Hedgehog concept is all about, living your truth and sharing it. So just be you. All right, this slide right here, I love it. It's probably my favorite.
The second.
Facts sell, stories sell. So that quote is just, it preaches so much truth to me, because I've seen it come to life in my business. If I post a story about what Shakeology is doing for me, as opposed to posting a story about the ingredients in Shakeology and that's it, facts about it, people are going to identify with what Shakeology is doing for me. I'm telling them a story about how it's changed my life. People are going to relate to that. So you want to develop stories to tell to people. So how do you develop your story? So like I said, write down pivotal points in your life, what has shaped you through this coaching process. Identify with things about coaching that have shaped you. How are you going to share that? How can you put that into a story to tell people? Make a video, guys. Like I said, that was the best thing I ever did, was sit down and make a video about how Shakeology helped with my Crohn's. It has like something crazy, like over 2,000 views on YouTube. And I don't even I'm not like big on like YouTube or whatever, but that video, it just went crazy because it served as a resource for people and a resource for me too when people ask about it. Get vulnerable, guys. People want honesty. They want realness. Talk about your struggles. It's okay to fail. Read a bunch of Brene Brown books. That's really going to help. Get vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. When inspiration strikes, I kind of talked about this. Write it down. Keep a place of a notepad, a place of ideas to refer to. Another big tip I want to give you guys, if you write these posts, make sure you're keeping them somewhere, because you want to always continually share your story. And sometimes it's hard to tell the same story 20 different ways in 20 different posts. So if you have a story, what I do is I actually put them on my blog. I copy them to a blog just because that's easy for me. Another thing you can do, I have coaches who put them in a Google Doc. And so they'll have like coach opportunity posts all in a Google Doc. So they save all their coach opportunity posts in there, or, posts about motherhood or posts about Crohn's disease, whatever, and save your deep, meaningful posts that tell a story in one place so that you have them as a reference for inspiration or to recraft and repost later, because people, your story is always growing and changing. Followers, people won't have always seen your story. So you got to continuously share it. And something I actually, one of my coaches, because I put my blog, one of my coaches actually found me by Googling running with Crohn's. If you do have that, then people could find you that way if you're putting your information out there. And I don't like make anything fancy or change it or in any ways. Just if I have a deep, meaningful post, I'll put it there just as a resource. And another tip that was shared with me, I can't remember who said it, but it was a coach, and she said, your life is like a reality TV show to your followers. So they want to see the real you, how you're coping, how you're overcoming. They want to see the good times, but they also want to see the struggle so that it can be relatable. And I just have to tell you guys, this is hard. It's hard to be you and to share on social media. Like, I have so many new coaches that come in and say, I never post on social media. How am I going to jump in and start posting? Like, this is going to be tough. And I totally get it. When I first started coaching, I had like less than 200 friends, and it was all family and friends, people I knew. So I get it. It can be hard, but you never know who you're going to inspire. I did a really vulnerable post one day, and a girl messaged me, and she's a coach, a fellow coach, and this is the message she said. She said, "I'm sure people won't ever understand, and that's totally okay. Just know you're amazing and doing huge, incredible things, inspiring others and making a crazy impact, all while making a freaking living doing it. Don't ever stop sharing." And I just want to give that same message to you guys. Like, what an amazing opportunity as a coach to go out there, share your story, be real, relate to people, and help them in some small way, some small part of your story. Someone's gonna identify with and change their life. Anything less is as pointless as a river, thinking that it's got too many curves, or that it moves too slowly, or that it's rapid or too rapid. Says who? You're on a journey with no defined beginning, middle, or end. There are no wrong twists and turns. There is just being, and your job is to be as you can be. This is why you're here. To shy away from who you truly are would leave you-less. You are the only you is and will be. I repeat, you are the only you there is and ever will be. Do not deny the world its one and only chance to bask in your brilliance. So in closing, I just want to challenge each of you to find your story, roll with it. Don't be a fox. Put those blinders on. Be the hedgehog and just do your thing, you guys. You're awesome. And I know that as you guys develop your stories as coaches, you are going to change so many people's lives. And I'm really excited for you because literally that's been probably my favorite thing as a coach. So do you guys have any questions?
Well, Breezie. There you did it again. Thank you so much. Isn't she awesome? Holy smokes, you guys. She is so awesome. I think, I mean, I know you hear this stuff and you know it, but you just broke it down so good, Breezie. Like the part where you said, I think, a lot of us post about fitness and faith and family, but the one part I think that the key is missing is that, that you're not interweaving your story into it. So I know that I can work on that. And that's something that's exciting for me that I've been actually really working on in the last 2 or 3 weeks, just really trying to figure out, okay, who exactly? And I think, like you said, we're continuously growing. What is my voice and what do I want it to be on social media? Who am I? Am I this personal development person? Because I am, but at the same time, I'm sassy, and I'm, I like to laugh and have fun, and so I'm trying to figure out who I am. And I think that was really good advice. Okay, guys, any questions? Write them down. I'm unmuting all you guys. Oh, wait, I don't want to invite. Sorry. I'm so good. I'm so good. Oh, look at that. Oh, there goes all the kiddos. Okay.
Say hi. It's okay.
Oh my gosh. Anyone any questions, you guys? Any comments? Anything? We're shy.
I have a question.
Okay, there's a question. Okay, I'm gonna mute everyone.
Unmute it.
Okay? Who has a question?
Come here, baby.
Who said that?
Do you want to say hi?
I have a question.
Do you want to say hi to Grandma?
I'm gonna unmute you. Unmute. Go ahead.
I'm a teacher and I still work full time and I will be for a few years now. But I'm just wondering. I've always thought about how to kind of craft that on social media because I work in the community that I live in, and I don't want parents to think that I don't love my job and I don't love their children, and that I don't want to continue that. But I know that it's going in that direction. So how would you craft that on social media without, kind of having their kind of feelings in mind, and do I have to, or did you have to do that? Maybe you weren't building that at the time when social media was something that you were using that platform to do that, but did you kind of post about that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so my situation, I kind of it was summertime, so I kind of had the option to go back to work, and I chose not to. So I kind of phased it out, and I didn't really have to deal with that too much. But just thinking about it, I always talked highly of my teaching, and I think that's kind of the key, especially where you're in that community. So like in my posts, I would say things, and I still sometimes will say things like that I love to be a teacher or that I miss teaching, because I don't ever want people to think that I chose Beachbody over teaching because I didn't like to be a teacher,
Right.
So obviously you don't want negative feelings like that, but I think that it's okay to be honest that you would, rather stay at home or have this different lifestyle that this provides, as opposed to being a teacher, as much as you do love being a teacher.
Right. Yeah.
So I think there's a balance there. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Thanks.
Anyone else?
The link to the presentation, so you guys can snag slides off of there and info snapshot it if you want.
You're awesome.
What was the author of that book, Rising Strong?
Brene Brown. She also wrote The Gifts of Imperfection is a great one. Daring Greatly.
Yeah. Breezie, you said in the very beginning you had 3 questions that helped you kind of hone in on your hedgehog. It was, what are you passionate about? And then the third one was, what can you make a living at? What was the second one? You remember?
What can you be the best in the world at?
What can you be the best at?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, you guys. Any last things, comments? This is what happens is we get quiet, and then the team page will explode.
I have something to say if you have a second. I have a lot of experience because I'm a lot older than all of you guys, I think. And my problem is I share my story every day. I have for 40 years being in my business. And part of my problem is I share it so much that my family says, will you stop sharing your story? Don't do that. Mom, you don't need to tell everyone everything about you. But I do it. So for me, that's the easy part. But I guess what I need to do is dwindle it down to where it's in a paragraph, summarize it, I guess, rather than put everything out there. There's a lot of story. I guess I need to find out exactly what all those things have done to help me become who I am now, and what I want from that experience, I guess. So, but it's hard because I have so much that has happened. So don't you agree, Tiana, with regards to telling too much of my story too often?
Her daughter's like, yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of power in breadcrumbing. Like, think about how you breadcrumb with your clients through a message. You don't just like speak Beachbody all over them all at once.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of power in breadcrumbing your story because it almost makes people curious. So as you get new followers, they're going to see a little tidbit of your story, and they're going to want to keep following your journey and your story as you unravel a little bit here and there through the different topics that you choose to post about. So people are going to be able to identify with you in different ways without hearing it all up front and then be like, oh yeah, I've heard it. So a little bit at a time can be super powerful, just like in the invitation process.
Sure. That sounds great. Thank you. That's good.
And Rhonda, you talk to your family a lot, but are you sharing your story every day on social media? Or are you just talking about it in person?
I probably don't share the details of my story in social media because I think my family would prefer me not to. But
sensitive information and certain things happening, like that's crazy. I was going to say too that, don't talk about something that's really sensitive to someone else if you haven't approached them and said, hey, I want to talk about this, even if it really does affect you. Because I think that's sensitive. But there's also a part of yourself that needs to breadcrumb it on social media because that's people like your family people other than your family aren't always going to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like what I'm saying is like, you might know it, but your friend's friend or someone that you just met in the grocery store is not going to know everything that you talk about all the time. So you have to constantly be breadcrumbing 3-4 times a week, different parts of your story, which, if you look at the top coaches and people that are very successful in this business, they've mastered that, right? Breezie, would you agree that they've mastered their story? If I look at their last 10 posts they're always intertwining their story, talking about it. Like, even if it's not something like a gigantic thing, like you said, like a disease or something huge going on in life, maybe they're doing the 21-day fix and they're talking about it, mentioning it, talking about it, their next group starting, but not necessarily saying, hey, my next group, I need 5 people, come join me. But they're mentioning it and breadcrumbing it and talking it. And I've noticed that people, top coaches, do a really good job at that. And they're constantly, they're just all over social media. And we can all learn from that, you know?
I agree. I will say that one thing, at least if you think about television, you're watching shows, you see, say, Biggest Loser, or you see The Voice, or whatever show you're watching that's, you know, real obviously watched. It's amazing. They go in and they share everyone's detailed story, whether it's because they've been heavy or they're sick or whatever it is. They bring all those things up and they share them the entire series. And then you get done and you're like, okay, I wonder what happened to them. I wonder if they're still in bad health or whatever. It's really kind of like a pay and place. You kind of want to know what's happening, you know. So I mean, I have a hair salon, and so our clients keep coming back in to go, what's going on now? What's the next part of the story? They want to see the new chapter. So I do agree that putting that all on social media may be good, but people really will get overwhelmed with my story because there's too much of it. So I just need to know how to curtail it a little bit.
And pick 5 things, like
yes,
you said, pick 5 things instead
that's good. That was great.
And the other thing is that, you know, you are older, like you said, than some of us, but that gives you a unique opportunity to reach those people exactly like yourself, which we don't have that on our team, which I think is kind of cool.
Thank you. That was nice.
Oh my gosh, you have not changed since high school. I love you. I went to school with Tiana, and Rhonda I went to school too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we're done. Guys, thank you. Any other last questions, last comments?
There's a question in the chat here. The video or the story about the hedgehog, if you guys just Google it, Hedgehog Concept by Jim Collins, you guys, there's stuff about it. You can read about it. The book is called Good to Great. I actually haven't read the whole book, but I know it's a really good book, and Jim Hill recommends it. So,
Jeff Hill recommends it. Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking this concept and kind of applying it to our businesses. It's always nice to get a different perspective. And I so appreciate you, Breezie, for taking your time to be on our call. We are going to have a lot of golden nuggets. And I know that we're going to go forward and be able to, the people that are struggling, because I think we all have struggles in our life in different areas, where we can use these to share, understand that we're important and our story matters, and that, you know, it's just about getting a grip of what exactly we want to share and how we want to share it. And once you do that, I think the authenticity comes through. And then people are like, okay, like, I love how she's X, Y, and Z, or I love, you know, like how this person's not afraid to share this. And like you said, it's not easy when you push send. That's when you walk away and shut your computer, right? But when you come back to messages and likes and comments of people just giving you love, that's what this business is all about, is giving love and getting love in return when you are open and vulnerable about your life. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Breezie, and I appreciate you as a friend, and keep rocking your thing, my friend. You are awesome. If you guys do not follow her, please follow her. She has breadcrumbing and amazing, I don't even know how to story, like, she is amazing at telling her story. Like, every day I'm like, I want to join Beachbody. I want to be on Breezie's team. I want to join. It's like ridiculous. But one thing, last thing, we all were wondering, is that your real name? Like, did your mother name you Breezie?
No, my real name is actually Brianna.
Okay. I did not know that. Everyone's like, Breezie, that's such a cool name. Okay, we wanted to know.
That's so funny. I know another Brianna who's also Breezie.
Yes.
I was wondering if that like a common.
It is. It's actually pretty common, but it's funny because I signed up as a coach as Breezie, and then they made me change it legally. So, like, all my coaches one day were messaging me like, who's Brianna? Like, did you quit? Like, did you cancel? Because it changed in their coach online office that their coach was now Brianna.
Oh, that's so funny.
I've always wondered that, because I was like, that's pretty sweet. Parents named you Breezie.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, you guys, everyone needs a smile. Can we smile? Smile. Ready? One. You can totally not see me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Everyone smile. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Breezie. You guys have an awesome night. I will get the recording up tomorrow. And Breezie, I'll shoot you a recording if you want. A lot of people like to share it with their team, so you did an awesome job. So thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome night. Thanks for being on and making it a priority. Peace out.